What is a foundational white American?
It's a fantasy. There's
It's a
no
fantasy?
Yeah, because that's now a thing. I see a lot of people claiming to be foundational white Americans now.
WFA.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
FWA. Sorry,
yeah,
FWA.
Yeah, they came over as immigrants. They came over as immigrants, and also when the Europeans came over here and tried to start colonies, the colonies all failed. Without black people involved, all of the colonies they tried to start failed. They had New Sweden up in Delaware, that failed. They had Roanoke, that failed. San Miguel del Guadalupe, that failed. Just so many of their colonies, St. Augustine, that failed down in Florida. So they didn't get anything popping and anything stable until we were introduced to these colonies, and we are literally the foundation. So yeah, there's no foundational white American.
So the founding fathers are not foundational white Americans?
Well, the thing is, those founding fathers, they had slaves. So
True.
The slaves was doing all the work for them. You talk about George Washington, slaves. Thomas Jefferson, slaves. So yeah, they all had slaves doing the work for them.
Ben Franklin have slaves?
I don't think he did. I don't think he was a plantation owner, but
Not true.
right. But he had white supremacist views, so
I mean, they all did. I mean, the Declaration of Independence,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the Constitution and so forth. And, yeah. It was all like white males.
Exactly. So, we
Racist
were
and sexist.
Yeah, we've always been the secret sauce, as foundational black Americans,
Okay, but isn't that sort of just a footnote? Because at the end of the day, based on your definition,
Mm-hmm.
Europeans that came over here and helped build the country, just take slaves out of the conversation. Doesn't that more or less describe what a foundational black American is in the same type of way for their white counterparts?
You say you take slaves out of it. So if you take slaves out of it, you have no country. You understand? Like I told you, the Europeans, they came over here and they tried to start colonies on their own, and all of them failed. You see, we really have to understand that. When they came over and started Roanoke, that shit failed. It all failed. They did not get anything going on until the Jamestown colony, and they damn near starved and died with Jamestown. They were cannibalizing each other. Mm. So when black people were introduced to that colony, that's when they started to thrive. These are all facts. I always tell people when I'm debating them, show me a colony before 1619 over here in North America that was thriving. None.
Well, speaking of that, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the whites only?
That whites only town, yeah.
Yeah, in the Ozarks in Arkansas. And I guess it's supposed to be a new one coming out in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a colony or a town where black people are not allowed, Jewish people are not allowed. So you and I are both banned from setting up shop. Not that we would ever remotely want to live there. Right. But I think gays, I think, are not allowed also.
Yeah, so they're trying to set a precedent. What they're trying to do, they're working it so that they can say, okay, we can skirt the whole Fair Housing Act and the Civil Rights Act by saying this is a private community. And it's a members only thing.
Right.
So they're really trying to work it and word it in a way where they can get away with it so they can set a precedent. I think nobody wants to go there, but just the precedent that they're setting.
Some people probably want to go there.
Yeah.
Some people want to go there. Come on now.
But I'm talking about black folks. We don't want to go there anyway.
Oh no, black people, Jewish people don't want to go there either.
But the precedent that they're trying to set is kind of dangerous, because if they can get away with saying, okay, a private membership community can discriminate, then what's stopping all of these other people from doing the same thing? You see.
Well, you have private communities that discriminate all the time. Look at some of these
golf clubs,
golf courses.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You have to pass all types of hurdles to get in. Like, I've applied to the Soho House that didn't get in. Because I'm discriminated against, or because maybe they just don't want me there for my social media exposure or whatever else. I mean, I don't agree with this, but I don't see why they would not be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, again, they're trying to set a precedent. And if they get away with doing this and they thrive at doing this, that's not going to stop other communities from saying, okay, well, now this whole town is a private town and you got to have a membership to live in this town. And my thing is, this is the problem. If you have a whites only town, if a black person who's a delivery driver, worked for Amazon, if they get harmed in this town, will the white people get away with it? You know, now are they setting the legal...
I don't think Amazon going to be delivered to this town.
Yeah, right. Because we already
I
have...
don't think any Amazon driver going to drive into that place.
Right, right. So this is where we don't want to go back into the sundown town thing, because we've already had unofficial towns like this anyway. There were sundown towns. This great book by James Lowen talks about all over the country, there were places where black people couldn't go after 6 o'clock.
The whole Green Book thing to avoid those towns and everything else like that.
And they're still unofficially alive now. There's a lot of places where black people go to and the white people come out and say, hey, what are you doing here? So it's that type of thing. So what they're trying to do is make it legal again and put it on the books. So, you know, I don't like the precedent that they're trying to set with that.
Yeah, listen, this is a town that I am not invited to.
Yeah.
Because I'm openly Jewish. But honestly, if you want to build this little bullshit town and don't want to let anyone in, go ahead. I personally don't care.
Yeah.
I honestly don't give a shit, to be totally honest. You know, listen, when it comes to living life, having a full life, having a successful business, you can't sit there and just cut out big parts of the population. I have employees, black, white, Spanish, gay, straight, married, unmarried. I don't, you know, Muslim, Jewish, Christian. I don't give a shit. I honestly don't. I honestly do not. So if you want to create a situation like this.
But here's the thing, Vlad, if you have a town like this, are federal dollars going to go to this town? It's still in the United States. Will federal dollars be used in this town?
Point.
Right. Now, that's my thing. If my money, my tax dollars, and I pay a lot of taxes, I don't want my tax dollars going to a town where I can't go. I'm going to be in danger if I go there. See, that's where the problem comes in.
Well, hold on. This actually brings me back to what we already talked about. Dr. Umar Johnson. It's a school for black boys that was supposed to receive some sort of funding or no, or is this totally private?
I think it was private, just private donations. He didn't get no,
just
private donations.
So you have a problem with the whites only town, but you actually were supportive of this black male only school.
Right. Well, black owned, yeah.
But let's just say I had kids with a white woman. They could not enroll in Umar's school.
Listen, that school wasn't going to open up. All right. So,
but I'm saying conceptually, you didn't have a problem with that school. But
No,
you had a problem with this town.
I didn't have a problem because it was black owned. It was going to be a black owned school.
But it was this thing. It wasn't open to white kids, Spanish kids, Asian kids.
No, I didn't know all that. I didn't know.
Yeah, I believe that the school. Let's just before I put my foot in my mouth.
Right, because I didn't know if it was going to be excluding all of these other groups.
Yeah,
I know
it was intended to be a residential academy for black boys.
Okay. I don't know how he would have gotten away with doing that, and if it's not a private school, I don't know how he would. But again,
just black boys.
Yeah.
Now look, you have you have boys' schools, right? So for example, where I grew up, matter of fact, in San Mateo, where Tom Brady went to school, was Sarah High School, which is a boys only Catholic high school. No girls were allowed there. But it wasn't broken down by race.
Right. But here's the thing, Vlad. If the school was never going to be done, so you could say anything. You can say it's a school for goddamn leprechauns. You can say anything. It's not going to be open anyway, so you're selling it. Yeah, it's not a practical thing. Look, I have the Hidden History Museum. It's a black-owned institution.
Yeah.
We had a bar mitzvah there.
Okay.
Somebody had a bar mitzvah. Them Jewish people in there grooving. Yeah. They're playing Drake. They like Drake. Jewish people like Drake.
Of course they
do. We had some Hispanics in there. They had a birthday party. People rented out and just different races of people. So I don't discriminate. It's black-owned. Now, what's interesting, some white people wanted to rent it, and they wanted to cover up some of the artifacts, some of the black artifacts.
Oh, really?
I'm like, no, you're not doing that.
That's crazy.
We're not going to do that. But yeah, it's open for everybody. So I don't know how you could practically exclude people based on race. But again, if the shit ain't going to open anyway, you can say anything.
That's what it is. Tariq Nasheed, man. Always a pleasure. We're about to switch positions here. You're going to interview me.
Yes, indeed.
Let's do it.